You slept last night. Maybe 6 hours. Maybe 7 if you were lucky. You woke up to an alarm, scrolled your phone before your eyes even fully opened, and dragged yourself into the day feeling like something important was stolen from you. It was. Here's what nobody tells you. The way you sleep right now, one long block, in total darkness, alone or nearly alone, chasing 8 hours, like a debt you can never pay off, is one of the strangest, most historically unprecedented sleep experiments ever run on a human body. And you didn't volunteer for it. The way your ancestors slept looked nothing like this. And the gap between those two things is quietly destroying you. Let's start with the experiment that cracked this open. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health took a group of healthy volunteers and put them in rooms with no artificial light for 14 hours a night for an entire month. No lamps. No screens. Just darkness. Within a few weeks, every single participant independently shifted to the same pattern. They fell asleep for about 4 hours. Then they woke up for 1 to 2 hours, completely calm, fully conscious, not anxious about being awake. Then they fell asleep again for another 4 hours. 2 sleeps. A gap in the middle. Ware called it biphasic sleep. Historians had a different name for it. They called it first sleep and second sleep, terms found in court records, personal diaries, medical texts, and household guides throughout medieval Europe, stretching back as far as written records exist. A 16th-century French physician named Laurent Joubert wrote plainly that people who had sex during the first sleep made better use of their energy than those who waited until morning. He wasn't being subtle. He was describing a universal human routine. Historians like A. Roger Kirch spent decades cataloging thousands of primary sources that reference the two-sleep pattern as completely normal. Letters, trial transcripts, prayer books. The language assumes everyone knows what first sleep means. And then, around the 1800s, it vanished from the written record almost completely. Let that sink in. Here's where it gets interesting. The Industrial Revolution did not just change how people worked. It changed when people slept. And then it changed what they thought sleep was supposed to feel like. Before the widespread adoption of gas and then electric lighting, darkness was real. Nighttime was long. Winter nights in northern Europe stretched 14-15 hours. You couldn't fill them all with productive activity. The two-sleep pattern wasn't a disorder. It was a rational biological response to the actual length of the night. Then artificial light arrived and compressed nighttime culture into a single condensed block. Work schedules demanded morning starts. The gap between first and second sleep wasn't just inconvenient, it became invisible. By the 20th century, medical literature had reframed nighttime waking as a symptom of insomnia. Something was wrong with you if you woke up at 2 a.m. But nothing was wrong with you. Your brain was just running the version it shipped with. The biological evidence is not subtle. Your body does not treat an 8-hour sleep as a single unit. It runs in 90-minute sleep cycles: light sleep, deep sleep, REM, and back again. Research published in the journal Current Biology in 2015 by Jerome Siegel and colleagues at UCLA studied 3 traditional hunter-gatherer groups: the Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, and the Tsimane of Bolivia. Groups with zero exposure to modern lighting and work schedules. Their average sleep duration was 6 to 7.5 hours. Not 8. They did not have consistent bedtimes. They slept with temperature, falling asleep as ambient temperatures dropped, rising as they climbed again before dawn. Their melatonin released later than modern humans and lasted longer into the morning. Their bodies were synchronized to something we no longer have access to without actively seeking it: the actual rhythm of a day. And critically, not one of them described their sleep as a problem. Sound familiar? The chronic, low-grade fatigue. The 3 a.m. wake-up. The feeling that no matter how many hours you clock, you never feel fully rested. These are not character flaws. They are not laziness or anxiety or weak discipline. They are the predictable result of a biological system running on the wrong schedule. Your ancestors in that middle hour, the gap between first and second sleep, were not lying awake stressing. Where subjects described a state of quiet wakefulness unlike anything in their normal waking day. Calm. Reflective. Some meditated without being told to. Some wrote. Many had sex. A 2019 paper in the Journal of Sleep Research noted that the middle period was historically associated with heightened spiritual awareness and vivid hypnagogic imagery, the brain hovering between states, producing visuals and insights that seemed to come from somewhere else. This wasn't a malfunction. This was the default mode. Here's the part nobody talks about. The switch from 2 sleeps to 1 didn't come with a vote. There was no public health announcement. No study comparing outcomes. A societal shift driven by economics and artificial light slowly rewrote what was considered normal. And then, that new normal became a medical baseline. Doctors today measure your sleep against 8 hours. Your devices prompt you to track your REM. Sleep clinics treat middle-of-the-night waking as a pathology. The entire architecture of modern sleep medicine is built on a behavioral pattern that has existed for roughly 200 years. Your body has been running its original architecture for roughly 300,000. So what does this actually mean for you? If you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and you're calm, not anxious, not in pain, just awake, your body may not be broken. It may be doing exactly what it was designed to do. The anxiety that follows, the spiral of, I can't afford to be awake right now, I have to be up at 6, I have to sleep, why won't I sleep? That panic is modern. That panic is learned. That panic is the problem, not the waking. Russell Foster, professor of circadian neuroscience at Oxford, has noted publicly that the medicalization of perfectly normal sleep patterns has driven a sleep anxiety epidemic. People in previous centuries who woke in the night simply got up, read by candlelight, prayed, talked to a partner, and went back to sleep without framing it as a crisis. The crisis is our interpretation, not the waking. The next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., calculating how many hours you have left, stop calculating. You are not broken. You are not sick. You are a human animal running a sleep system that evolved in firelight, in open air, in the quiet middle of a night that was allowed to be long. Your ancestors used that hour. You can too.